Today, we face a lot of challenges like stress, conflict, environmental problems, and inequality. With all these issues, we might wonder, can old wisdom help solve modern problems? In this video, we'll explore how Buddhism, even though it started thousands of years ago, might help us with the problems we face today. From managing stress to building a kinder society, Buddhist ideas might be the key to dealing with our fast-paced world. Let's see how Buddhism could help us solve some of our biggest challenges. Buddhism isn't just a spiritual practice or a set of beliefs. It's also a guide for living well, finding inner peace, improving our relationships, and living in harmony with the world. By learning these teachings, we might find ways to make our lives better and also make our communities better. Buddhism teaches us to look inside ourselves, think about our actions, and find ways to live with more compassion, understanding, and peace. These values are timeless and can help us navigate the challenges of modern life, whether it's dealing with stress, building relationships, or finding meaning in our work and community. One of the biggest problems today is stress and poor mental health. Buddhist teachings on mindfulness and meditation are practical ways to deal with these challenges. Mindfulness means staying in the present moment without judging it. This helps reduce anxiety and brings clarity to our lives. For example, imagine sitting quietly and focusing on your breath. When thoughts come, you let them pass like clouds in the sky. By doing this regularly, you can train your mind to stay calm and focused. Practicing mindfulness can also help us enjoy the small moments in life, like a beautiful sunset or a quiet morning. Another important Buddhist teaching is accepting change. In a world where things are always changing, understanding that nothing lasts forever can help us deal with changes and losses more calmly. Instead of fighting against change, we can accept it and go with the flow of life. A good example is thinking about the seasons. Just like winter turns into spring, tough times in our lives also change. Remembering this can help us feel less overwhelmed by challenges. When you face a difficult time at school or at home, reminding yourself that the situation is temporary can help you find the strength to keep going. It also helps us appreciate the good times more, knowing they won't last forever. Buddhist meditation also includes practices like metta, or loving-kindness meditation. In this practice, we take time to wish well for ourselves and others. For example, you might silently say phrases like, "May I be happy," or "May you be safe." By doing this regularly, we become kinder and more compassionate, which can improve our mental health and our relationships. This practice is especially helpful when we feel alone or disconnected, because it helps us remember that everyone is doing their best, just like we are. Another big issue today is the environmental crisis. Buddhism's teachings on not being attached to material things can help us think differently about our relationship with stuff. Today, people often want more things, more money, more success, which can harm the environment. By choosing to live simply and being happy with less, we can reduce our impact on the planet. For example, instead of buying the latest phone every year, we could keep using the one we have until it no longer works. This small change can help reduce waste and protect the environment. Imagine if everyone made small changes like this. It could make a big difference in the amount of waste we create. Buddhism also teaches us about interconnectedness, which means that all living things are connected. When we understand that our actions affect not only ourselves, but also other people, animals, and the planet, we may want to take better care of the environment. When we harm nature, we are also harming ourselves. Imagine a pond where all the plants, fish, and insects depend on each other. If we pollute the water, everything suffers. Understanding this connection can help us make better choices. For example, using less plastic or eating less meat can help protect the environment. When we see how our choices affect others, it becomes easier to make changes that help everyone. Buddhism encourages us to find joy in experiences rather than in buying things. Instead of buying more, we can focus on what really makes us happy, spending time with loved ones, enjoying nature, or helping others. These experiences are not only more meaningful, but also better for the planet. For example, going on a hike with friends can be far more enjoyable than buying a new gadget. This way of thinking can help us find true happiness while also protecting the environment. There is a lot of inequality and conflict in the world. Buddhist teachings on compassion and loving kindness show us a way to heal and understand each other. Compassion, or karuna, means feeling empathy for others' suffering and trying to help. If more people acted with compassion, we could reduce inequality and solve conflicts between groups. For example, think of someone who donates food to a family in need. That small act of kindness can make a big difference in someone's life and inspire others to do the same. Acts of compassion can create a ripple effect, encouraging more people to help each other and make society fairer for everyone. The idea of non-violence, or ahimsa, teaches us to deal with conflicts peacefully. Instead of using aggression or creating divisions, Buddhism encourages us to use dialogue, understanding, and respect. Imagine if our leaders, communities, and families followed these values. We could find more peaceful and fair solutions to the problems we face. For example, think of how Mahatma Gandhi used non-violence to lead India to independence. His approach showed that peaceful actions could bring about real change. Even in our everyday lives, practicing non-violence can mean choosing not to argue with someone and instead trying to understand their point of view. By doing this, we can create more harmony in our relationships and communities. Buddhism also encourages generosity, or dana. Generosity can help reduce inequality by encouraging those who have more to share with those who have less. This doesn't always have to mean giving money. It could mean sharing your time, skills, or simply being there for someone in need. Imagine volunteering at a local shelter or helping a friend with their homework. These acts of generosity help build a stronger, more caring community. By giving what we can, we make the world a fairer place and inspire others to do the same. Loneliness is becoming more common in our world, even though we have technology that keeps us connected. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of community, or sangha, which can provide emotional and spiritual support. Being part of a community that shares similar values can help us feel less alone and give us a sense of belonging. For example, joining a local meditation group or a book club can help you meet people who share your interests and create meaningful connections. These groups can become a source of support and friendship, helping us feel more connected in a world that often feels disconnected. The practice of loving-kindness meditation, or metta, is another way to connect with others. By cultivating feelings of love and goodwill toward ourselves and others, we can break down barriers and create real human connections. Imagine sitting quietly and thinking about someone you care about, wishing them happiness and peace. This simple practice can help us feel more connected and open-hearted. It can also help us feel more empathy toward people we find difficult, which can improve our relationships. For example, if you're having trouble with a classmate, practicing loving-kindness meditation can help you see them in a more compassionate way and make it easier to work together. Buddhism also teaches us that we are not separate from others, but deeply connected. This idea can help us feel less lonely. When we remember that everyone experiences challenges and suffering, we can feel more connected to the people around us. For instance, if you are feeling sad or anxious, it can be comforting to remember that many others feel the same way sometimes. This understanding can help us reach out to others and build supportive relationships. Simple acts like smiling at a stranger or helping a neighbor can remind us of our shared humanity and make us feel less alone. Many people feel stressed at work and struggle to find meaning in what they do. Buddhism's idea of right livelihood, which is part of the Noble Eightfold Path, encourages us to do work that is ethical and matches our values. By doing work that helps others and doesn't cause harm, we can find more meaning in our jobs. For example, someone might choose to work for a non-profit organization that supports the environment instead of a company that harms it. This kind of work can bring a deeper sense of purpose. Imagine how much more fulfilling it would be to wake up every day knowing that your work is making a positive difference in the world. Buddhism also teaches the middle way, a balanced approach that avoids extremes. In the workplace, this means not overworking, but also not being lazy. By finding balance, we can stay healthy while still reaching our goals. For example, setting clear work hours and taking breaks can help us stay productive without feeling burned out. It's important to remember that rest is just as valuable as hard work. By taking care of ourselves, we can be more effective and enjoy our work more. For example, taking a short walk during lunch can help clear your mind and make the rest of the day more productive. Another important aspect is finding joy in the work we do, no matter how small the task. Buddhism encourages us to be present and mindful in whatever we do. Even if you have a job that feels repetitive or boring, like washing dishes or sorting files, being mindful can help you find a sense of peace and satisfaction. Instead of rushing through tasks, try to focus on each movement and appreciate the role it plays in the bigger picture. This can help transform even simple tasks into meaningful activities, making work less stressful and more fulfilling. Addiction, whether to substances, technology, or unhealthy habits, often comes from not being able to manage our desires. Buddhism teaches that craving is the root of suffering. By understanding and letting go of our attachments, we can break free from harmful habits. The Four Noble Truths provide a way to understand suffering and find a way out, helping people deal with the reasons behind their addictions. For example, if someone is addicted to social media, mindfulness can help them recognize when they feel the urge to check their phone and decide whether it's truly helpful or just a habit. Meditation can also help with addiction by teaching us to observe our cravings without acting on them. For example, if you crave a sugary snack, you might sit quietly and notice how the craving feels in your body. Over time, you may find that the craving passes on its own. This practice helps us see that we don't always need to give in to our desires and that we have the power to make healthier choices. Breaking free from addiction can be difficult, but with patience and mindfulness, it is possible to find freedom from unhealthy habits. In leadership and governance, Buddhist principles could help leaders make more ethical and compassionate decisions. A bodhisattva leader is someone who leads with wisdom and compassion, putting others' well-being first. This type of leadership could help create policies that are fair and good for society, reducing corruption and building trust. Imagine if leaders made decisions by considering what would benefit the most people, instead of focusing on personal gain. This kind of leadership could create a more just and peaceful world. A good example of this type of leadership is when a leader prioritizes education, healthcare, or environmental protection over profit. For instance, a mayor might decide to invest in public parks to improve the quality of life for residents, even if it doesn't bring in immediate financial gains. This approach can create stronger, healthier communities where people feel valued and supported. By leading with compassion, leaders can inspire others to work together for the common good. Buddhism also emphasizes the importance of leading by example. A leader who is calm, mindful, and fair can inspire others to act the same way. Imagine a teacher who always listens to their students with patience and respect. Their behavior can encourage students to treat each other with kindness. By showing the qualities we want to see in others, we can create a positive environment that benefits everyone. This type of leadership can be applied in schools, workplaces, and even at home. Buddhism may not solve all our problems, but its teachings offer valuable insights that can help us live in a more balanced way. By practicing mindfulness, compassion, and non-attachment, we can address many of today's challenges, like stress, loneliness, consumerism, and inequality. Buddhism encourages us to look inward, understand our own minds, and find ways to act with kindness and wisdom. By doing this, we can create positive changes within ourselves and in the world around us. The real power of Buddhism might not be in solving every problem, but in changing how we see ourselves, others, and the world. It encourages us to look inside, understand our minds, and act with kindness and wisdom. When we change our perspective, we often find that our problems become easier to manage. It's not always about fixing everything, but about finding peace within ourselves so that we can handle whatever life brings. By making small changes in our daily lives, like being more mindful, more generous, or more compassionate, we can make a big difference in our own lives and in the world. If these ideas resonate with you, try adding some of these practices to your daily life, whether it's through meditation, acts of kindness, or being more mindful of your actions. Together, we can explore how ancient wisdom might help us navigate today's challenges. Even small changes can lead to big improvements over time. Imagine if everyone practiced a little more kindness and mindfulness each day. Our world could become a much better place for all of us.